Welcome everyone. Tuesday New Moon Meditation. Feel the new ground being fertilized. You are the seed. Coming into your seed power, deep zone. The seed of your being, moving into the future. When we have a new moon, the energy from the earth is a lot less on the dark side of the planet. And so it projects out, there's no reflection back from the moon. And so this field is unencumbered, it's spacious, it expands out into space. It's like a new beginning. It's like the earth is temporarily liberated from the solar intensity. So let's just breathe into this moment for opportunity for better sleep, better expansion, good feeling, the new moon. So let's start. Let's just take a minute, dropping inside, kind of gather yourself together, or you may have left parts of yourself somewhere. Just gather yourself back. Soul retrieval, getting ready for the new cycle, gathering your consciousness, gathering your feelings, gathering your thoughts. So you're going to sprinkle them in at the top, kind of like cinnamon, into this beautiful cup of you, this delicious brew of you. So we're wondering what's new, right? What's the new cycle going to bring? And so that's important to release the old cycle if we want the new cycle to come in. Somehow and wondrously, the whole universe disappears and reappears. So the old universe is hopefully completely resolved. So the new universe can come in at every split second. So this translates on many levels. Translates to our life, translates to our tribe, the culture. Everything's being regenerated all the time. As a matter of fact, the strongest nervous system, the most powerful healing system you have is cellular regeneration. So let's just notice that cellular regeneration is occurring as we sit here. You don't have to do anything for cellular regeneration. Let's just take a moment. Notice the brilliance of your body intelligence. It knows exactly what to do. It's 3 million years old. You just want to take a moment and honor the body as space. The mind is more like time, but the body is like space. So let's feel our spacious graciousness. It's like tuning into your body, bringing your body to this moment. Relaxing brain, relaxing neck and shoulders. Relaxing. Noticing. As we pull the senses in, we notice that we're in the present moment. You can taste things better. When we bring our senses inside, it's called pratyahara. It's a yogic technology. It's just bringing our attention in. So we're just noticing, key word, noticing and softening. Allowing. This allows us to drop out of call it 3D limitations, the box world of particularity, dropping us down into a quantum universe of singularity. So a world of waveform and infinite possibility. So if we want to plan our new cycle, it's best to do it from the deep inner command center, the heart. So we're just going to relax brain some more, dropping down into the heart in order to set our new cycle forward for our reset. So as we relax the brain, notice the sensations that are occurring. Notice parts of yourself you weren't noticing before. Your brain will shift down from whatever gear it's in. But you can't change gears unless you shift into neutral. Neutral positive. Especially at this time of intense polarities, we best serve the culture as a giant nutrient of meditation. Your meditation is a nutrient for the extended culture. If you are in a phase lock harmony with yourself, if the coherency of your brain is harmonizing with the coherency of your heart, with the coherency of your gut, oh, that wonderful coherency creates like a ladder spiral energy as all the pressure vectors align, symmetry kicks in, order is generated out of chaos. As we get stiller and stiller and stiller, it drives the self-healing, self-organizing aspect of consciousness. And when this self-organizing aspect of consciousness is driven by our attention, then the emotional quality, the tone of your being drives the DNA. And this is done by a kind of a blue fire. It's an ultraviolet condensation in your glandular system that integrates and organizes itself. Every gland is associated with a chakra. So this esoteric, subtle energy body is gland driven. So if we want to meditate powerfully, we need to energize our glands. We need to give them the best food. Nice, rich food, actually, for higher frequency. Obviously appropriate to you. Let's just notice the coherency that may or may not be there in your brain, in your heart, in your gut. And just sitting quietly allows the self-organizing quality of your body to do its job effortlessly without us being in the way. So let's just do that. Let's just take a minute. It's like stop, look, listen, reflect, absorb, flow, all these good verbs. Just noticing that you're noticing, dropping into a deeper state of consciousness as the brain waves relax. And just get in touch with the subtle vibration in your chest for a minute. If you can't go that low, that's probably normal. But just feel a vibration in your throat, vibrating your chakra, your creativity chakra. Oh. Any kind of sound is good, any kind of vibration. Humming, numbing, not numbing, humming. Vibrating your chest, opens the heart, relaxes the brain. And we breathe to accompany that. And relaxing, softening. Call it the ah factor. It's different than pain. If you have pain that's driving you insane, it's not really there to torture you, as Tony Robbins would say. It's there to make you move. It's there to get you to take some kind of action that you might need to take. So if you're sitting wrong, you might have to adjust. All right? Whatever that adjustment is, just allowing that to occur, whatever movement you need to make, your body's going to be in a continuous state of readjustment. It's like a sailboat. The wind's changing, and you have to keep adjusting the sails to accommodate the sail. Just making little adjustments to your being, finding your comfort zone, and going a little journey today. A little shamanic journey seems to be downloading. New moon is powerful. New moon is an invitation. Just noticing the law of comfortable space. The law of comfortable space. It works well with the law of resistance. The persistence of resistance continuously is problematic, right? It's sticky stuff. It travels with you. Whatever you're resisting, it's following you around. So no resistance on the mental level allows for all kinds of time possibilities. Why do I say time? Well, we talked about the body as space. Body loves space. Body is spacious. Yes, the body is in time, but time is more under the jurisdiction of your mind. Because take a look, whenever you're stressed, it's probably time related. You're in a hurry. You're late. There's not enough time. Oh, you have too much time. What are you going to do with it? Time. Okay, so let's align with time. Call it all time, no time. Best accomplished at the speed of light. Hey, great idea. How do we go at the speed of light? Well, let's say you are already made out of light. You're already vibrating biophotonically. The newer understanding of cellular communications is that your photons are connecting, talking, the speed of light. Otherwise, it probably wouldn't be possible for your body to do what it does at the speed of dendrites. So speed of light is in operation. So just take a minute and notice that you're made out of light. It doesn't take long. Just notice this. What's lighting up your brain? Your dreams last night. Where's this fire coming from? There's a fire in your belly. There's a fire in your heart. There's a fire in your throat. You're made out of fire. Experiencing that. Nice deep breath. You are a glow. And what we want is glow back, not blow back. More glow, more flow. Good feeling, attracts the healing. Letting the spaciousness of the new moon fill you. You weigh nothing. You're mostly empty space. Gravity loves you. She's a lover. Gravity is love. Just experience it. It's like another sense. It's different than the other senses. The gravity feeling. And notice that this tug of love is very spacious, and it comes up and into the trees, the Schumann resonance. It pervades the biomass. It fills your heart, fills us with these particles of, call it Chitti Shakti, beautiful consciousness that's instructed by the earth exactly what to do. You're being taught by the earth, by the Schumann resonance. And so as we meditate with it, essentially it's our teacher. It's teaching us to be the way a cat floats in a meditative posture. Just sort of floats there. Cats are very electromagnetically aligned, these little Tai Chi masters with their purring healing. Turns out there's a waveform that comes from the center of the galaxy in B flat. Many, many, many octaves below middle C. My cat purred in B flat. This little creature could align with the universe and the Schumann resonance and emanate this amazing radiation. Hey, if a cat can do it, you can do it. So here we go. It's going to feel this glow that comes from below, filling you up. Mother Earth loving you. She has more space to do it on this new moon occasion. The sun is a fierce taskmaster. Apollo rules. But in the cooling night air, the lotuses bloom. Just notice that you're a lotus. I never said that one before. That's a good one. Put it on a bumper sticker. Notice that you're a lotus. There are many lotuses. A stack of lotuses. Each lotus has a quality, an element, a geometry, a function. You're made of all these brilliant parts that are doing themselves. Only 5% of you is running the show. The rest is, what do you know? It's divine. The universe is breathing us. Let's notice that. It's almost as if to get out from the shackles of the ego, you have to sort of go down and under and out. You have to sort of dive into the deep zone of peace, your true nature, and experience that. So otherwise, your mind is locked into time and is often running. And there you are. Where'd my mind go? Left me behind, my mind. Couldn't find my mind. So what is mind? One minute is there, 1 minute is not. No mind. The joke is if you don't mind it, it don't matter. Mind is a kind of trapped light inertia in matter according to certain physics. And it's that inertia that allows you to be who you are, to just sit here quietly. Otherwise you would just be a flotsam and jetsam mess, right? You'd be streaked across the galaxy. You'd be an explosion of colors. But since you've created a nested holographic, it's like a 0-point plaza in your being, you're essentially like God in that regard. If I was from Maine, I'd say not regard. Well, since I'm from Maine, I'll say that. Creation, sustenance, and dissolution is occurring as every thought you think. Let's notice that for a minute. The thoughts arise, they float, and they dissolve. Where did they go? So just noticing thoughts. Arising, sustaining, dissolving. Brahma, Vishnu, and Shiva, those of you that are aligned with the Hindu mythology, creation, sustenance, dissolution. But then there's two more magical dynamics according to the philosophy of Kashmir Shaivism, which is concealment and revealment, which is that your inner self is playing hide and go seek with you. It's so subtle you don't notice it most of the time. Certainly I don't. But when we bask in the glow of this meditative flow, then you can truly know this being in you, or at least come to know it better. And then when we are up and about, we forget. But if we come back to it enough times, it's a reset. You begin to direct connect. And if you've already been doing that for 40 years, awesome. You're assisting us in this field we're generating. So this coherency in the heart, the self-organizing principle of consciousness. You don't have to do anything. It does it by itself. At least in meditation. So let's just notice that. Shift from thinking you have to do something. Somebody said, you have to meditate, you should learn. And I have to do something, or I have to meditate. Actually, let meditation do you. That's how I like to think of it. I have a date to meditate. All right. She's a lovely lady. You just get with your goddess. Get with your guy, your inner lover. That being which has been loving you for eons. So easy to forget. Good feeling drives the healing. The glands drive a pressure wave up the spine, and the goddess arises with it. You could say, Goddess Shri Kundalini Ma, Shri Kula Kundalini, the serpent fire, this conscious evolutionary force that's created the entire universe, and it has a, call it, involutionary form in the form of you. So in a sense, a new universe has been created at your birth. Universe of you. You're the President of the United States of Love. Let's just feel that. Because as far as you're concerned, there's nobody else in charge. Owning the power. So empowerment meditation as well as healing. It's a Kundalini meditation today of sorts. So we just love her. If you're thinking, oh, I'm a Christian person, what's he talking about? Or something like that. Let's call it the Holy Spirit. She loves you. She's just rising up inside. Breathing. Imagine this energy fountaining out the top of your head, or feel it fountaining out the top of your head. We're like a giant donut, a rotating toroidal field around the heart. And the glands drive this blue fire energy, this glandular substance, sort of seed power of the body. Your glands make babies, all right? They can do a lot more than that. Let's say you make a baby. Could be an art project, could be a child. Let's say you think that's what you do, you're limited to that. That's your life, and lots of other people doing other things. But there are people who, when they have a baby, everybody celebrates it, or their waveforms have laddered up to a cascade of millions of people, perhaps. Not that you even want that necessarily with gawking people, but the idea is that you can enfold universes into your cells. You can enfold continents and massive knowledge and experience and power into your body, so that when other people resonate with you, they not only experience you, they experience the braiding and the nesting of your field, which is driving huge fields in harmony with it. So that way you become a force of nature in the culture. Like, you know, an Obama is such an example, right, of a person, whether you like him or not, has enfolded many fields of resonance, right? It's a large resonator leadership energy. So resonance is an amazing phenomenon. It's not just a musical thing. It's a consciousness thing, right? So let's notice if you are resonating with everything in your being and everyone in your life, with your family. Carl Jung would say there's no such thing as mental disease. It's only family issues. So if you can resonate with your family, with your sister, your brother, your lover, your parents, this is the first step, right, to this big expanding field of resonance. But right now, let's just bask in your own glow. You can expand even more tomorrow. Let's just get it right on the inside tonight. Pure I am awareness. The concealment and revealment. The part of you that's watching you be you, hiding out, observing. Let's go back to that. You have to actually come back to that to notice that, unless you're a fully realized super yogi. Which is bringing your attention back to that. That's the definition of meditation, right? To bring attention to something. kind of meta attention. Meditation. Well, that sounds too much like tension. So just meditation. It's like standing ovation, much better. So bringing your attention to whatever it is you want. Let's say your new project. Let's just do that. What is it you want to do in the next cycle? While you have all this meditation energy charged up, it's like a delivery space shuttle. It will carry you to your destination. Use the energy, but convey your intention through the meditation. Here we go. We're dreaming up your future. Nice deep breath. Take a minute and suck in some more oxygen. Like, really suck it in for a minute. And hold it and release it. Wherever you're at right now, this will strengthen it. Right? It's like locking it in with more oxygen, more breath, more prana. Here we go. And hold it. And release. And then with your palms, just rubbing them together. Feel the electromagnetics of your palms. You have yin and yang in your palm, over your eyes. So yummy. There's the blue fire, the Bindu seed, the blue pearl, the bodhicitta, wisdom seed, microscopic God self in your heart, creating universes. Where God plays hide and seek, peekaboo. God's looking out from you, peekaboo. You're God in a package, let's just say. And then just unpack the package appropriately today. Someone sent me a text requesting that we look at this issue people have with not being able to complete projects, not finish projects. Why we have whole warehouses full of sheet music, don't we? So how do we finish projects? Wow, there's probably a million reasons that might be blocking you, but let's consider this first. Higgs boson. I don't know if that means anything to you, but the Higgs boson particle, the God particle, these fields that they speak about in advanced physics that nobody seems to understand. Let's make an easy version for a minute, because it applies to the new moon. Let's say you want to get out of bed in the morning and it's already 11 o'clock. Oh, whoa, you've been resisting. It's tough to get born. So it's like an airplane. When it takes off, it takes a lot of energy to get you up at 30,000 feet, right? You know, after you're sitting there in your seat, right? And then finally you level off at 30,000, 40,000 feet, and then, a little sign comes on, you can move about the cabin, you can kind of go back to the laboratory, you can walk backwards in a plane that's going 600 miles an hour. Okay, so that's the resistance at the beginning. Well, finishing a project is really more of a resistance at the end. So, well, let's consider that. So let's say you land the plane. Yeah. Right, it's a big deal. That's the most dangerous thing you do in a plane, right? It's landing. So, a lot of resistance there, a lot of Higgs boson is their point, right? The resistance kicks in at the beginning and at the end. Getting born, dying, difficult, maybe. So let's consider this resistance in the field, right? What is all this resistance? We need to resolve it, dissolve it mentally by basically take your mental hands off the thing. Give it up to God, right? Give it up to the universe. Relax, release, restore, let go. That's what that means, right? Let go, open. Not always easy to do. Why? You can change your behavior. It's easy sometimes, but can you change the emotional way you feel when you react to something? How easy is that to change? Oh, that's better done in meditation, right? That's better done in a really deep level. You can alter your behavior with your frontal lobes, but this heart, deep emotional stuff, right, is much more complex. So we push the easy button. Let's drop inside again with those thoughts. So we're speaking of this resistance at the beginning and the end, getting up out of bed, going to bed. Sometimes you can't go to bed. Your brain you can't stop. It's an addiction. So let's go to this middle domain, right, where the plane is flying at 600 feet, going at 600 miles an hour, 40,000 feet. Cruise control, here we are. Let's meditate on that for a minute. You already got out of bed today. Don't worry about tonight. Just feel this moment. Cruise control. Coherency is accumulated. Right? We store stuff up. The earth stores up her electromagnetics and then delivers it to the trees, delivers it to you. So we store up this chi, this jing, whether it's in your glands, in your brain, in your heart. We have all this incredible energy, and then we deliver it. And it's essential to deliver it. The culture requires that you deliver it. It feeds on itself in that regard, right? So you're an integral part of the nutrient system through the meditation. The meditation, coming back to the meditation, here we go. Just noticing your breath. You breathe in, you breathe out. All is well. So we're just feeling the power. Great book. Dr. David Hawkins. But what does that mean? Well, let's translate it for our purposes today. Power is divine, right? Supreme power, the power of the Supreme Self. That's the power. What our tyrannical ego self might be up to is force, right? We want to willfully interfere. We want to impose. We want to get in there and get our way, right? And so probably every problem in the world comes from some version of that, right? Somebody not listening to the power and imposing force. Just watch the news, right? So let's go to supreme power, the supreme self, supreme power, Paramashakti, Paramashiva, right? These incredibly deep forces of nature that pretty much are living you at this moment. We're sort of surfing the being that's living us somehow, mysteriously. It's quite a deal. But here we are, surfing the power that is pouring out of you, whether you even like it or not, right? Incredible power pouring out of your eyes. You can listen up to miles away. You can feel your mother when she's about to call you. My mother could tell when my brother was run over by a car out of earshot. She sent me over to the store in Lebanon one day when we were in Beirut. Something's happened to Andrew. And what are you talking about, Mom? And go find out, right? And had to run across to the Colisée Cinema, and there he was, had been hit by an American, actually. That was actually fortunate in many ways. But hey, Mom knew. Mom could feel her child at a distance in pain. We have this capacity. Telepathic university, all right? That's you. Mr. and Mrs. Telepath. So let's notice this. You can telepath into anything. You just have to put your concentration on it. There's people that do it professionally and they really know how to do it, but you can do this, right? Your consciousness is divine. You have the same nutrients, you have the same capacity as anyone out there. So, let's just say telepathic frequency resonance. You will get the information you need if you ask for it. My whole business as a professional healer is based on this phenomenon. All you have to do is ask. And it's like Google, right? The more specifically you ask, the more specific the answer. So, you got a question? Let's say, you don't need to ask me, ask you. Let's try this. Ask a question you think you don't know the answer to. And then just see like, wow, check that out. I just got a aerogram. Telepath came right in. Let's check it out. Ask him the question. What do you need to know? If you're not getting an answer, ask your body. It's called kinesiology, right? There's a way to do this with just feeling weak and strong. Resistance, no resistance. Open, close, yes, no, right? It's digital. So tuning in to the digital pulse of your body that has an organic root. And just ask any question you want. Ask another question. Now, I find that intuition is a really interesting thing. The answers come in so many ways. You just have to open up the field for, it's not necessarily going to be in words. Although the word is your wand, right? This is your tool of power. You don't necessarily receive information in words. It just sort of comes in. You just kind of know. So let's try this for a minute. You might be used to a different kind of knowing. But let's say, hey, you're here today. intuition is speed of light. We spoke of the speed of light earlier. At the speed of light, there's infinite space. The body loves the speed of light. It is made out of light. And the mind loves it too, because in the speed of light, there's no time. Boop. No time. So, all time. Superpositional space. You can connect to anything, anywhere, instantaneously. This is Einstein's spooky at a distance thing, which was proven in the 90s, evidently. And this is why healing can work at a distance, for example. So you could tell me or someone like, oh, I have a shoulder pain. And a healer can do something, right? There's all kinds of technologies that could be applied. And then pain gone. How'd that happen? Right? So it's an inside-out technology, and yet broadcast from a distance. Non-local medicine, it's been called for quite a while, but it's not really in the CNN, Fox Universe. So non-local medicine means you are a non-local being, which means you don't even exist in your body. If we go with this route, you don't even exist. I mean, you're somewhere else, meaning you're beyond this dimension, right? You're in the 5th dimension and beyond, because that's what's outside of space and time. So let's notice that you already are a 5th dimensional being. You already are the pure I am self. Let's just tune into that. In an instant you can do that. And if you're good at that, that could suffice as a meditation. Let's say you're in a real hurry. You got to get going. Sit down, boom, pure I am self. Make the connect. Off you go. All right? Then from the inside out, you're broadcasting from your command center again, right? You're not like in your scramble brain. So again, command center in the heart, 50,000 femtotesla field. It dwarfs the brain, is only 10. So it's a no-brainer, obviously, right? We drop from this magnificent computer, but to this unbelievable, divine universe in the chest. Just bask in that glow for a minute. If I was a school teacher right now, I'd say, free time. Talk amongst yourselves. Meaning, I'm going to pull back for a minute or two or whatever it is and just allow whatever wants to happen. Let the divine unfold within you. Stretch a little bit. Loosen up your body. And we've been doing this now for almost 50 minutes, and so that means that your blood has run a complete circuit of your body. And so the vibrations that we're creating today, if you've been, oops, yes. Well, look what just came on. This is actually a song of mine. It's called Aiko. Very happy. Aiko, Aiko, Biaye. It's a new cycle. It's a new cycle. It's a new Aiko. Biaye, 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 Biaye. That's the basis of community. I love you, you love me. That's the basis of community. It's Rebecca Kleiman on the flute. Just feel the joy, right? If you can't complete a project, it's because you probably didn't have the joy at that moment, right? Didn't have the energy for it. Didn't have that happy, joyous blood of the 4-year-old. That's Ali Baba from Mali singing. We did a fundraiser for him, so thank you everyone that gave on his behalf. Really appreciated that. And that's Filippo Franchini. Okay, so when we brought Ali Baba into the studio, the first thing he did was change everything around because he said, oh, it's not the right direction, right? This guy's from Mali, he knows the right direction. So we had to change all the mics and everything, and then he just unleashed this torrent of shamanic energy that we edited it, obviously, but it's contained in the song. So if you're wanted to follow up with that, it's called Aiko, and it's on Spotify, and it's on my CD called Shape-Shifting Jaguar. So we're going to continue with being a shape-shifting jaguar in this moment. Just notice all the maybe the shape shifts you've gone through in our hour together here. All the personas that exist in us, all these subtle subpersonalities, voices, energies, desires. It's like, who are we, right? We're so full of all these different competing voices. Some people say, oh, competition is a bad thing. No, 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 no. Your brain is competing. Your thoughts are competing. The best thoughts win. Okay, so let's notice this. Which thoughts are winning at the moment? If you have an addiction issue, this could be a problem, right? You have thoughts that are controlling you and you're not controlling the thoughts. Your narrative is out of control. And so let's point this out, that meditation is maybe the only, well, maybe not only, one of the premier ways to eject from the narrative that is controlling us, right? Whether it's cultural, whether it's personal, familial, DNA, your ancestors, your expectations. How do you get out from this story that's just gotcha, right? It's just, how do you retell the story? It's like what we're talking about with this new moon. The old story needs to go. Ejecto, bye-bye. Just delete the files, blast away the past away, outlast the past. Poof. Or maybe more accurately, we bless the past. Right? Blessing the past allows you to move on. So let's do that. Blessing the past. Forgiveness. Blessings. It was all God. You can't do anything about it now. Or certainly you can relate to it differently. Releasing the past. Letting the old cycle go. Let that universe collapse into itself as the new one unfolds. And so just feel this regenerative capacity. If there's a biological limitation, if you can't complete your project because of your body, that's usually the liver, right? The wood energy is not expanding. You have some kind of blood toxicity, some kind of derangement in the organs, and your body's going to shut down. You're not going to expand. So there could be a biological reason you don't finish your projects. You just don't feel well. And that could be environmental, right? It could be a virus out there. It could be weather has stopped your plans or your project. A lack of resources. So many things, right? So what I thought I'd do in this, we're moving into this post-meditative focus more on the healing right now, which I like to do. So let's just gather our energy again and connect to what is still not right within you. If we need to correct something, either as a group, individually, just feel, where are you still not right? What still hurts? What's still confused? Maybe that's not at the moment. Maybe you're feeling fantastic. That would be great. But if you're not, I'm going to sort of provide some possibilities that could be the reason. Because sometimes if you latch on to the reason you don't feel good, the real reason, not the one that's on the front burner, but the deeper reason, then the subconscious mind resolves the problem, right? And then all of a sudden, done. Problem solved. Let's look at some other possibilities. So, emotionally, you could have a whole play of possibilities. It could be a past life problem, right? Maybe you died before you finished doing something big. And so now in this life, you get to that moment and it's like a miasm. It's like your previous death still has hooking you off stage. So miasms aren't just deaths. It could be that you got a disease in the other life. And so now you've programmed your brain that things don't work out for you. And now you've even like glued it up with dopamine and that's it. You need a pickaxe to bust it. That's where meditation is useful, right? Because you can kind of, it's like dropping I'm just coming up with this now. It's like dropping an ice cube into hot water, right? Your stuck stuff won't last long. It's just sort of like the warmth of the water will just sort of melt it away, right? So just melting away your stuck stuff. Whatever that stuck stuff is, just drop it into the hot water. Feels good. Release the past. For addiction issues, whether it's conditioning, you might need to activate your acetylcholine, activate more serotonin, and that's why, 70-80% of America is on pharmaceuticals, because we're basically undoing the past. This uploader serotonin is literally taking apart these strange thought forms that we've been operating with and these strange cultural baggage. So as we resolve and dissolve the past cultural baggage, which is happening in mega amplified fashion out in the Black Lives Matter universe, the massive changes are happening at every level. All the more reason to meditate, to hold the center, right? To not be like swept away by this way or that way. Just hold center. And let's breathe again. This is, I know we just said we weren't meditating anymore, but let's just do this for a minute. Because I know there's a lot of folks that have these issues we just talked about, right? There's something you almost can't help it, just pulling you backwards. It's like depression. It's chemical. It's anger. It's resentment. It's grandmothers that are unresolved, or whatever it is. It's people in your family that hate you or hate themselves. You know, right? They're causing stress, right? So here's maybe the best advice I know for resolving any healing issue. And why meditation? Because it rhymes with medication? No, because it's taking you out of this stuck, limited world where your operating systems are limited and dropping you into this more waveformy, wavy gravy where you can have infinite potential, right? Where you can actually think your way out of the bottle versus like, you know, I can't get out, I'm stuck. It's a box world. So we go out of the box through, like Gandhi, right? He melts through the walls in jail, right? That dude has access to any state of consciousness, as we spoke of in some of these previous meditations. So let's do that. It's like the be like Gandhi moment is even if you're in jail, even if you're in a prison of your own making, even if you're in a marriage that's horrible, even if you're in an apartment you hate, whatever it is, we're just going to melt. We're going to go down the magic rabbit hole, right? Underneath the thing, right? Let's just do that. It's like escape from your cage by melting it with consciousness, self-organizing consciousness, blazing out of your heart, overriding the problemas of the brain, right? This is a tyrant. We love our brain, but man, does it like to hijack the show. So we need to get back to this where we really know, right? This larger 50,000 femtotesla field. So here we go. Just melting deeper underneath your problem. Out of the box you go. The box could be conventional thinking. You think your ship is sinking. Somebody else's crazy mind, cursing you, jealous of you, vibing you. And so what do? All those problems that are fixed and frozen into place in the world as you're living it, in a sense, you can eject from the entire deal by going down under it. It melts away. And then what? It happens by itself, right? You create an amplitude wave of integrated thoughts and feelings. The coherency is so profound that everything then has to organize around you. Which means the universe suddenly perks up and goes, oh, it's like GPS, car off-road, recalibrate, right? So all these people you thought you couldn't control or having a hard time controlling or having a hard time dealing with, because controlling just doesn't work, all of a sudden, magically and mysteriously, because you meditated, it's like you slipped the surly bonds of this draconian conspiracy, right? This reptile brain that's got it all locked in, right? We melt past your limitations into the softening. It's like into the softening. That's kind of what it is, right? Into the softening. Should be a name for a movie. The softening, right? Everybody relaxes. So we just go into the great softening. Softening the ego, softening the mental tight thoughts. If your neck is not flexible, it's because you're not flexible probably, right? My neck tenses up when I get inflexible, right? So we want to be flexible. I'm feeling the call for the musical thing here. Let's just obliterate some concepts. Train's coming. All aboard. Actually, I can hear the real train. All the instruments I like to play are generally acoustic, and they all have lots of space in them, right? Whether it's the didgeridoo, lots of space. Oh, no spiders today, good. The hollow body of the guitar, the sitar, the tambura, and then you, right? In a sense, you're the musician, you're the instrument, right? So just noticing this. You are the empty space that reverberates. The world is full of stuff, and there's never enough of this stuff. So we need to work with the opposite of the stuff, right? The emptiness is the balm of sorts, right? To balance the stuff. So meditation is a form of applying empty space to your hydraulic system of pressure, right? Now, if pressure is working correctly, then you're driving the Kundalini. That's great. But if pressure is not working right, you're driving off the road. Right? It's not in alignment. And then that pressure causes pain, right? Pain is pressure. So how do we resolve pain? Resolve the pressure. How do we resolve the pressure? Add the vacuum space. More spaciousness in the relationships, more spaciousness in your home, perhaps. Maybe it's all cluttered with boxes. You can't get things done if things are still undone, right? One of my friends who's a psychic in Los Angeles knows a lot of these famous folks and says that some of them haven't even unpacked. They moved in years ago and there's just boxes everywhere, right? Some of these famous folks need some serious space clearing. So space is very important in the home, in your brain, in your heart. So 3 cheers for space. Space feels good, doesn't it? It's a feeling, literally. Space is a feeling. Okay, so in our little adventure today, there's times when we could go faster or slower, times when there's more space, less space. There's a contraction, expansion going on. It's your heart, it's your breath, it's all contracting and expanding. So let's get within that waveform for a minute. It's all waves, right? Waves are actually spirals. So we're just vortexing, spiraling thing. Just feel your wave nature. You're made out of waves. And as soon as you put your concentration onto something, right, you're creating particularity, which concentrates the waves. It's like the waves start to swirl around into this point of concentration, right? Meditation as concentration, bringing your attention to the thing, whatever it is. Like a vortex to that point. And everything is curving and in the balance around that. And that is a laser-like intention, laser-like intensity. Lasers are actually defined as coherent light, right? When it's totally coherent, zoom, right? Let's feel your laser-like focus coming out of your, call it your third eye right now. Just feel that laser-like focus. It's a beam of light. And it comes out the eyes. We've heard the definition of love as the secret ray of the eyes, right? The love comes out. Laser-like, light and lasers. You like stories. My grandmother, my step-grandmother, his father measured the speed of light. His name was Albert Michelson. He was my grandfather's fourth wife. She was the one I basically grew up with. And she wrote a book called The Master of Light. Just my favorite title. It's like, I always wanted to be a master of light. So that's the invitation, right? To become a master of light. What those guys did, the Michelson-Morley experiment, was actually to use a laser beam, a rotating mirror, and a wind tunnel that was however long it was, a mile, less. They shot the beam to the rotating mirror, which they knew how fast it was rotating. So the time it took for the beam to bounce off the mirror and come back on an angle of deflection created a trigonometry geometry. And then they were able to compute the speed of light from all these variables. So the point is, light is coherent. It goes at a certain speed, relatively, but at that speed, time is zip at that point, which is completely mind-blowing, as it should be. But let's consider, what does that mean? Because here's the key for the solution to our problems, I would say, in a fun way, is the speed of light, is the resonance of that calibration. Because if you go slower than the speed of light, you turn into stone eventually, right? That's what aging is, right? Eventually you lose your light. You kind of, you go slow, your vibrations slow down, right? But if your vibrations are speed of light, you'll be continuously refreshing. Your meditation will be a continuous refresh of the fact that you're made out of light and you continue to blaze away. Otherwise, all this other stuff will come in and pull you back to contraction, right? The opposite of love is fear and density and disease and all these horrible things, right? So it's obvious, right, what the path is. So we're almost done today. Let's just take another minute, bookmark these pages that maybe some things you like better than other things, some things connected better with you. Maybe just remember some of them. You can always watch this again. Just, what was the best advice that came through for you, whether it came inside of you or through Facebook here? Just kind of collect the jewels. And most importantly, just feel good. Even if with most of this, if maybe you're tired, just went over your head, no problem. You can catch it later, but trust me, it goes in because it's frequency based, right? I'm mostly intending a frequency from the heart and accompanying that with wisdom that wants to come through. But get it in the heart level. Meditation is contagious, right? If you start meditating, your friends will start meditating. It's wonderful. And there's so many ways to do it. Let's finish with a song. So this is, I played this last time. This is just a fragment of a song, but I just love it. It's by Brett Dennen. That we have is love, and all that we have is hope and love, hope and love. So give love, it's the only thing that heals you. Come on, children. Give it to your brothers, give it to your sisters. Give love, it's the only thing that heals you. Come on, brothers, give it to your sisters. So give love, it's the only thing that heals you. Come on, children, give it to your mothers. Come on, brothers, give it to your sisters. And all that we have is hope and love, hope and love. And all that we have is love, is love. Give love, it's the only thing that heals you. Come on, give it, I have learned, it will all be returned if you only give your love. If you only give your love. Give love, it's the only thing that heals you. Come on, sister, give it to your brother. Namaste, everyone.